On one of my earlier videos in this channel, I mentioned how I was going to steer away from politics and do purely soccer or chess, since the internet is already oversaturated with the worst political opinions. And to think that my political opinion is the exception would be ironic and extremely conceited. That being said, I'm going to talk about politics. Sometimes it's just unavoidable. I'm not going to talk about policies or theory per se, or my opinions on how the government should be run or anything like that. It is something that happened recently in the soccer world that rubbed me the wrong way, and I thought I should make a YouTube video about it. On March 5th, 2025, Lionel Messi and MLS's Inter Miami were invited to the White House, where they were honored by the President Donald Trump for winning the MLS Cup. Now, soccer and FC Barcelona have been a huge part of my personality and identity, and I know everything there is about Lionel Messi. I've seen every ad, I've seen every clip, I've seen practically every game he's ever played. And never have I ever seen this dude look at someone the way he looks at Donald Trump. Messi looking at Trump looks like me looking at Messi. It's hard for me to continue this video without thinking about that infamous quote, "Shut up and dribble," said by Fox News' own Laura Ingraham after LeBron and Kevin Durant had some political takes about Trump and racism.
NBA superstar LeBron James is talking politics again. Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump in a new ESPN podcast.
The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
I feel like our team as a country is not ran by a great coach.
It's not even a surprise when he says something. It's not even a surprise. It's like laughable. It's like
it's laughable.
It's laughable and it's scary.
Look, there might be a cautionary lesson in LeBron for kids. This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA. And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
That moment caused a lot of discourse about whether celebrities and athletes should ever talk politics publicly. And honestly, that's a complicated question. In an ideal world, the celebrities who have immense wealth, power, and influence they would speak up, right? They would see something that is unjust and immoral and speak up about it because they are so respected and are so influential. The problem is that most celebrities, especially athletes, are generally not that smart or well-informed on politics. And the few times they do decide to speak up, many times it is just better had they just stayed quiet. Soccer has already been growing in popularity in the United States for years. In fact, according to Fox Sports, it has already overtaken America's favorite pastime, baseball. That being said, most soccer fans in the US still only follow the major European and South American leagues, and many view the MLS as a joke league, a place where overseas superstars come and play their final seasons of their careers. It's sometimes named the retirement league. Miami, Florida is a city where more than 70% of Miami residents have a Latino background. The Latino influence in Miami is so present and immense that to many Latin Americans, Miami is considered an extension of Latin America. This is something that David Beckham, along with American billionaire Jorge Mas, understood. And in 2018, to ensure that his new club connected with the local community, instead of naming the team Miami Football Club or Miami United, the founders of Inter Miami went with the official name of Club Internacional de Fútbol Miami, acento en la U. Things were looking good for Bex and his billionaire business partners, But things really took off when in 2023 they made a historic move by signing none other than Lionel Andrés Messi Cucitini, the best footballer and arguably the most famous person in the world, along with other Hispanic superstars like Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and Luis Suarez. And it worked. It worked like a charm. Ticket sales broke records, stadiums sold out across the country, and according to ESPN, MLS attendance increased by 14% in the first year after Messi's arrival. Now, getting back to the main subject at hand. In the United States, Messi's most loyal, adamant, and passionate fans are South Americans and immigrants. If there is one thing that stands out about Trump's current term, regardless of how you feel about him, it's that immigration enforcement has been a defining focus. Yes, many presidents have overseen deportations, but not quite with Trump's style or approach.
Si no nos dicen la verdad, le vamos a poner más cargos y van a durar en la cárcel más tiempo. ¿Ok? ¿Mande?
Yo estoy ilegalmente.
¿Qué? No lo oigo.
Ilegalmente.
Ok, vámonos. Abre la puerta.
Immigration raids are expected to take place across the country starting July 14th. That's on Sunday. And Miami is one of 10 major cities being targeted. At least 2,000 families are expected to be targeted by ICE agents after the Trump administration announced last month that he would, quote, remove millions of undocumented immigrants from the United States.
What am I doing? Hey, Kevin! I got rights to talk, bro.
You got no rights here.
I do.
You're illegal, brother. Get up.
After seeing these images, I think it's fair to describe many of them as aggressive, if not outright violent. And as you may know, those actions have disproportionately affected Messi's core fan base, Hispanics and Latin American immigrants. Not only that, but the state of Florida is the second U.S. state with the most ICE arrests. So to see Messi gleefully shaking hands with the architect of this very visible deportation campaign is, to say the least, extremely disappointing. During the event, Trump also referenced the ongoing US-Iran war. At the beginning of the speech, the president openly boasted about the military action and how good it was doing. As he continued speaking, there were pauses for applause, and everyone clapped, including the Argentinian superstar.
Our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. Thank you.
At first, one might think, whatever. Maybe he's just clapping because everyone else is clapping, which happens all the time. If I'm at a play and there's a standing ovation, what am I going to do? Sit down and not clap? No, I'm going to stand up and clap. It's almost instinctual. Except this isn't the theater and you're not watching a play. This is war. And in the opening strikes carried out by Israel and the United States on Iran, one of the targets was a school, which reportedly killed 175 people, most of which were children. This is a new format of video on this channel, and it is not a video I had planned to do until I saw an image on my Instagram pop up. On one side, there's Messi smiling at Trump in the White House. On the other side, there's a photo of a dead Palestinian child wearing a Messi jersey. Whether you think that comparison is fair or not, the image stuck with me because it highlights something very uncomfortable. The massive gap between the people and the people they stand next to. Those with power only have said power because people bestow it upon them, and it is their responsibility to use that power for good. And some athletes do. Marcus Rashford is a great example of a famous athlete using the attention he garnered for good.
In an emotional letter, he describes how his mother, a single parent, struggled to feed her 5 children while earning the minimum wage.
You know, my mum, she done the best she could. I remember we used to go to a shop called Pound World, and everything was under £1, and you know, we sort of schedule out the week, so we'd get 7 yogurts and you can have 1 yogurt a day, and this is all going on at a time where kids should be concentrating on schoolwork, and it's just crazy to think that this is still going on at this, you know, we're in 2020 now, and it's just something that I don't believe should be happening.
He was responsible for successfully making the UK government U-turn the decision to end free school lunches during holiday breaks. And thanks to the power and influence that Marcus Rashford had at the time, he was able to feed around 1.3 million children in the UK.
Are you aware that the way Boris Johnson was informed about your campaign was he was actually played the interview that we did the other night?
Yeah, he mentioned that on the phone, and he just said that's what sort of moved him really, because he probably understood it a little bit more, like hearing it from someone rather than just reading it or hearing about it. So yeah, I think that was obviously a key factor in him changing his decision.
Messi is not just another athlete. He is the global superstar. Millions of people, especially immigrants and Latin Americans, see themselves in him. When someone with that level of influence publicly celebrates a political figure, it means something. And Messi is not oblivious to that. He has been in the public eye for almost 2 decades. He has dealt with governments and sponsors, global media, his entire career. While I understand the owners of the club might have told him to show up at the White House, he's Lionel Messi. At the end of the day, you can't force him to do anything. Meaning that this was ultimately his choice. And maybe the bigger lesson here isn't necessarily only about Messi. Maybe it's about us and the relationship we have with celebrities and how they are not our friends. They're not moral leaders. But maybe, in my ideal world at least, they should be. Unfortunately, the sad reality is most of the time they are extremely talented, extremely wealthy people protecting their brand and their self-interests. The sooner we understand that, the easier it becomes to appreciate what they do on the field without expecting them to represent us off of it. That being said, I will leave you with this clip of another Argentinian legend who was very active in politics throughout his entire life. The face of this channel, Diego Armando Maradona.
Los americanos me daban un premio y me daban un premio en Cuba. Dije, americanos, quédense con el premio, yo me voy a recibirlo a Cuba.